Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 9 of our Arsenal career mode, where today we have a couple of very big Premier League games coming up. Now, last time you were with us, we obviously did the Tottenham game where we drew 0-0, and then we beat Atletico Madrid 3-0. Done quite a few games since then. Some of them went well, some of them not so much. So yeah, since then we had Nottingham Forest, beat them 3-1. Managed to beat Man City in the Carabao Cup on penalties in the end. And then we had a pretty terrible run of form where we had to play Liverpool and Atletico Madrid away from home, and we lost both of those. And then we also, to round it off, lost 1-0 against West Ham. And then we drew 0-0 to Wolves, who are pretty much sitting sort of mid to bottom table, I think. Oh no, actually they're 6th. They were definitely worse than that at that time, I think. But anyway, we drew to them. And then we managed to recover the form by winning 6-1 against Benfica, which was, yeah, a bit weird. And it included this goal from Jesus that I'm going to show you. If we have a look at this, the keeper just runs out and then just kicks it straight to Jesus, who then just puts it in the net. So, yeah, not sure what the keeper was thinking there. But nonetheless, we got 4.4 XG. Obviously, it did include a penalty, so that helps. But, yeah, somehow we beat Benfica 6-1. And then since then, we beat Chelsea 2-0, Olympiacos 2-1. Then we lost to Leicester, which was quite annoying. We beat Leeds twice in a row because we played them in the Premier League and in the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup. And then we beat Middlesbrough 4-0, so not too bad. In terms of the Carabao Cup, we then have Newcastle, obviously in the semi-final, and then we have to do 2 legs against them. In the Champions League, we came top of our group, but unfortunately, Real Madrid came second of their group, and that is who we have been drawn against. So in the Champions League round of 16, we are going to have to play 2 legs against Real Madrid. So yeah, going to be interesting to see if we can actually carry on in the Champions League from that. But the 2 games we have today are Man City at home and then Newcastle away from home. And the reason these are big games is, of course, Man City is always a big game, but they are 4th. And then Newcastle are currently sitting 2nd. So Liverpool and Newcastle still going very strong here. They both literally won 12, drawn 3, lost 1. They've both had exactly the same form, but Liverpool have had quite a bit better goal difference. So that's why they are top at the moment. Tottenham are still down in 19th. They did end up sacking Thomas Tuchel in the end, and now they have this guy, Julen Lopetegui, or something like that. But he's been playing much better football with Tottenham. He's been playing a 4-3-3 gegenpress, and you can see what that has done to their results since. So Tuchel was playing a 5-2-2-1, and they just had a terrible run of form. And then since then, ever since the new manager has come along, they lost to Newcastle, but then they've won or drawn their other games. So yeah, they might be able to get themselves out of the relegation zone. But we do have our game against Manchester City on Boxing Day. And, in other news, we have sold, we're going to be selling Alex Renarson, our sort of 3rd choice goalkeeper at this point. He is going to Sporting KC for 550 grand, so not too bad. I had actually experimented with a sort of vertical tiki-taka 4-2-3-1. It did work relatively well, but I have found that just the standard gegenpress 4-3-3 seems to be working quite well. So that's what we're going to be using. Chuck it on positive, even though the assistant manager wants us to do balance, but that ain't happening. Assistant manager keeps wanting to put Martinelli up front as well, which is a bit interesting. He can play as an attacking forward now. He couldn't last season, but he can this season. And then, just under 2 minutes in, and we have a highlight straight away. Martinelli tries to get his head to it, and Brahim... Okay, Diaz scored. Not entirely sure what I just witnessed. We'll see a replay of that. So Martinelli passes it back to Tomiyasu, who then has a long ball over to Martinelli, who heads it to, the middle of the middle of the area there, and then these 2 Man City people just seem to forget that they're playing football. So then Diaz puts it into the goal. City do have a corner here. Not fully cleared yet. That was a very strange back pass. What? Penalty? For what? Okay, I'm going to have to watch that back because I have no idea what that penalty was for. But Haaland steps up to the mark and Ramsdale saves it. Oh my God. This might not be over though. And we actually do clear it. Okay. I did not expect our keeper to save a penalty from Haaland, but he did. And we retain our lead for the time being, but I still don't know what that penalty was given for, to be honest. Nice long ball over to Saka, onto Martinelli. Come on, get it past the keeper this time. Through the legs, and that is 2-0 at half-time. And once again, Man City have subbed Haaland off. They did that last time we played them. I don't understand. Anyway, Martinelli. Through, on goal, and that is 3-0. See a replay of that. So Zinchenko, we must have had a free kick there. Nice long ball over to Martinelli. And then, yeah, just gets it past the left-hand side of the keeper into the net. And that is 3-0. Man City might have a chance here with a corner, but they don't seem to be able to do anything with it. They still do have the ball, so it is not over yet. Stones over to Cancelo. Going to run it down the pitch onto Grealish. But Saliba makes the tackle very nicely. And we regain possession there. Sambi Lokonga onto Diaz. Long ball over to Martinelli. Can we make it 4-0? No, because Martinelli can't finish. That's why. To be fair, he's had 2 goals. I'm moaning that he can't finish and he's scored 2 of the goals. But it is 65 minutes in and we should think about making some substitutions. So Saka, I mean, they've all been playing well, but Saka is a little bit out of fitness. So we can put on... don't know, we'll go with Leonardo. He's been playing relatively okay recently. Gabriel's on a yellow card. Do not want a red. So we can put on... who can we put on? Do we actually have any defenders on the bench? I mean, we have Tierney. Oh, Timber. We'll put Timber on, obviously. And then Tomiyasu on the right. We'll swap out for Max Aarons. That gets rid of everyone on yellows. 81 minutes in, and we do have another highlight. It is us on the ball, which is always a good thing. Timber. On to Sambi Lokonga, back to Saliba, back to Timber, over to Cherky. Can we do anything with it here? Gets tackled, but we regain possession with Max Aarons on the right. He's going to float it into the box, maybe? No, he goes for a shot himself. That was never going to happen. Don't know what he's thinking there. And that is full time, 4-0. Didn't expect to be winning that match, to be honest. With the run of form we've had, did not expect to be beating City. 4-0? 3-0. I don't know where I got 4-0 from. 3-0. Like I say, it doesn't actually put us further up the table because they had 4 points in hand, but we are now only 1 point within being in a Champions League spot. Okay, so it is now the 1st of January, and with that, the transfer window opens. We have already sold a couple of guys, so where is it? Like I say, we have sold Runar Alex Renarsson for 550k, and then we sold Maitland-Niles to Ajax for 5.7 million. We had to kind of get rid of him anyway because I wasn't able to register him because we got too many people in the squad. In other news, PSG have made an offer of £58 million for Ødegaard, which is awful. I don't know how they thought that we would be selling him for 58 million. The only problem is I'm going to reject this and then he's going to get unhappy about it, but it is what it is. I'm not selling him at all, really. I mean, if they come in for an offer of like 120 million, then maybe we'll have to. But yeah, not selling him for 58 million, so we're going to reject that. And because of that, the club atmosphere has fallen considerably, which is not good. But 2 people agree with Ødegaard, but then the vast majority of the rest of the squad disagree. So this is the team we'll be fielding against Newcastle. Gabriel Jesus goes back into his striker role, and then Martinelli takes up the left wing. The rest of it, relatively similar. I mean, you've got Timber in right back this time, Scalvini back in centre back, and in the midfield you've got Ødegaard, Verratti and Seiwald, and then of course Saka in right wing. So yeah, I mean, we've got Diaz on the bench as well, so we might bring him on. He played pretty well last time out, and then we'll see if this team is good enough to beat Newcastle. So Newcastle have got themselves a corner here. Let's see if we can deal with it. Looks like we've just about managed to do it. Saka is on the ball, and that's the end of the highlight, so nothing more of that. Looks like Newcastle are doing a 4-3-3 as well. And Ødegaard has got a free kick. Can anybody get their head to it? Not quite, but we do have the ball again. Seiwald back onto Ødegaard. Gets slide tackled. but it didn't work for the Newcastle player. And then Cywald back onto Timber, Ødegaard through, trying to get it onto Jesus, but he's not able to make that run happen. We do still have the ball, though, with Tierney. Back onto Tierney, puts it down, onto Jesus, almost 1-0 up for us, but not quite. And then Verratti fails to get that ball there, ends up getting intercepted. And then that's the end of that highlight. Nothing really has happened too much yet, I say, as Newcastle have themselves a highlight and almost get it in the net with Ramsdale just seemingly sleeping or something, I don't know. In terms of match momentum here on the top right, it certainly has been with Newcastle for the majority of this game, but we have held them off. And in terms of XG, we are technically better. Another highlight here for the Newcastle guys. You've got Isaac through all of our defenders. They just opened it up there for him to come through, and that is 1-0 for Newcastle. Defending in this game is infuriating, I'm telling you. I'm sure you've seen it from other people playing this game. They just forget what they're doing. I mean, what was Saliba doing there? He just fell on the floor. And then it opened up a gap for them to just get through. And that is 1-0 up for them. Jesus has been having an awful game. He is so inconsistent this season. He can have one game where he'll score like 5 goals, and then the next 3 games he'll have a 6 rating. It's terrible. But we'll put Martinelli up front, and then we can swap out Jesus for somebody, I guess Diaz. He played well last time. Anyone else been playing terribly? Ødegaard hasn't been playing very well, but that's probably because he's unhappy. He's not at PSG. See if these changes make any difference. And those changes made no difference, and it is a 1-0 loss. They were the better team, to be honest, just overall. In XG, they got like a 1.5. We only just about managed a 1. I mean, we only had 1 shot on target, so yeah. I mean, Newcastle have been in great form. Chelsea beat Burnley 8-0. Oh my God, Lukaku got a hat-trick, and so did Havertz. Well, Havertz got... Oh no, he did get a hat-trick, 3 goals. Crazy. Liverpool beat Middlesbrough 5-1. Anything else interesting here? Tottenham lost to Everton 3-1. Tottenham genuinely might be going down in this season. It's crazy. But that 1 loss has put us all the way down in 7th now. We might even get sacked at this rate, because the board objective, obviously, was to be in top 4. I mean, we won the Premier League last season. I don't know what is happening here. I think Liverpool and Newcastle have just been in such good form. But with that, that marks the end of this episode. Yeah, overall, not too bad. I mean, we beat Man City, which was unexpected, but then we lost to Newcastle, which I kind of expected anyway. Would have liked to draw. Obviously, it is the January transfer window. We don't have a huge amount of money to play with. We've got about 2 million, so I don't plan on bringing anyone in. Obviously, everything can change. Half of our players are wanted at the moment. As we know, Ødegaard is wanted by PSG. He is unhappy that we haven't let him go. Other people that are wanted, Martinelli is wanted by Bayern, Milan and Juventus. Smith Rowe is wanted by Newcastle and Inter. Jesus is wanted by Milan and Inter. Sambi Lokonga is wanted by Bayern. Everyone in our team is wanted. So who knows what could happen. We could end up selling a couple of our players and having to bring some new faces in. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that fantastic stuff. And I'll see you next time.